Bigfoot isn't just a legend stuck in one forest. Sightings are exploding across America, from deep southern swamps to icy mountain trails. We're tracking the beast state by state, and what's showing up is shocking. Bigfoot isn't hiding in just one place. Across the United States, people are capturing strange creatures, massive footprints, and terrifying vocalizations. From Washington to Florida, the sightings are spreading. This is the trail. This is the evidence. And when you map it all together, you start to see the pattern. In the quiet snow-covered trails of Pend Oreille National Wildlife Refuge, a man set out on a winter hike. What he found stopped him cold. Barefoot tracks, massive, alone, out there in the open. It was supposed to be just another solo hike. He'd been here before, back in the spring of 2013, when he'd found strange tracks near the road. 15 inches long. That moment never left him. It pulled him back to Mcdow Lake in the heart of winter. He hiked 45 minutes into the wilderness. Nobody else around, just the deep snow, the frozen lake, and old memories of a close encounter with a charging moose. This time he wasn't thinking about moose. He was chasing something else, something that might still be out there. His boots crunched through the untouched snow. He kept his head on a swivel. The quiet was heavy, too still. Then he spotted them, clear, deep, big.
I've seen a lot of deer and elk and some moose tracks down here. And I came across this. Hope you can see it. Those sure do look like toes to me. I see about 5, maybe 4 for sure. It's about 5 inches wide, and if that is a big toe, to the heel.
Take a look at this. Right by the lake's edge, massive tracks, 5 visible toes, 13.5 inches long, 5 inches wide. No shoes, no claws, just bare, powerful impressions heading across the ice. He had plaster with him, ready to cast what he found. It was his first time trying it in snow. He knew it might not work, but he had to try.
Well, letting this bad boy dry and freeze right here. I'll just show you the lake. Whoa. Now, I hiked this lake back in, I think it was July.
Here's the moment it happened. He poured the plaster, watched it freeze into place. Time was on his side. He planned to wait. He'd camped here before, fished this same frozen lake. He even remembered the summer when he found a strange shelter nearby. It looked built, but by who? He never figured it out. He stayed close, hoping the cast would hold, hoping he could finally bring back proof. But when he returned, the cast had collapsed. The cold was too much. The plaster had melted into the snow. The chance was gone. This footage says it all.
Well, I'm heading out. It's getting dark and temperature's dropping. I got about a mile to go to get back to my rig. So the cast did not take. It just pretty much just dissolved in the snow. And so I'm kind of bummed out about that. But at least I got a lot of photographs, got it measured.
The disappointment hit hard, but the photos remained. The track measurements were real, the impressions were clear. Bigfoot researchers would see what he saw. Here's what the camera actually captured.
Right towards the water's edge. So, there it is. Won't know more until I cast it and see what kind of details come out of it, but it sure looks like a footprint.
Barefoot tracks, walking along a frozen lake in the middle of winter. No human would cross that ice without boots. No animal would leave prints like this. He revisited his old 2013 track find. It was still clear in his memory. That spring he had found a line of massive tracks pressed into the dirt near the road. They led off into the woods. No hoaxing. The stride was too wide, the depth too deep. Back then, he couldn't forget the uneasy feeling of being watched. It pulled him back years later to this same lake, hoping to find more. This winter discovery wasn't just a one-time event. It was a thread connecting past and present. The footprints were fresh. The distance between them showed a powerful stride. He followed them as far as he could, but they vanished across the frozen surface. The ice had swallowed the trail. No tracks leading in, no tracks leading out. Just those steps, cutting across the frozen sheet, then gone. He searched for other signs, broken branches, scat, hair samples. He found none. Just the tracks, but the weight and size were undeniable. Something big had been there. Take a look at this.
Yeah, I'm excited about this. Just hope it comes out. If not, removing that cast is going to destroy all the evidence, but I documented it with a lot of photographs, so at least I have those.
The years passed, but the memory stuck with him. That cold day, the wide prints, the failed plaster, the long hike back, turning over what he'd seen. Each time he returned, the question stayed with him. Was it just chance? Or was this creature passing through the same trail over and over, in the same season? The search isn't over, and maybe one day he'll find those tracks again, but this time, he'll be ready. Dee went out to break a challenge, but she ended up facing the scariest night of her life. It was supposed to be a solo camping trip to celebrate 100,000 subscribers on her channel, Dee's Dark Adventures. She chose Salt Fork, alone, deep in the woods, with only her 2 dogs, Mara and Mia. From the start, Mara acted strange. She kept staring into the woods, focused, refusing to move. Dee couldn't see anything, just smoke and stillness. No frogs, no crickets. The woods were dead silent. Something was off. Mara wouldn't let it go. She stared, growled, then froze again. See for yourself. The moment Mara wouldn't stop watching something in the dark.
There's the smoke in the way. I can't see what she's seeing. She keeps... Mara! I don't know what she's seeing.
Dee tried to calm her down, but Mara stayed locked in, growling at the unseen. Then Dee noticed it, strange lights deep in the trees. 1, then 2, then 3. Were they reflections or something else? They flickered, they moved, and then they were gone. Whatever was out there, it had her dogs on edge. Take a look at this. The moment those lights appeared in the woods.
What is that light? Is that a light right there? What is that? Is that what she's looking at? No, there's 2. What is that the fire rift? Guys, I don't know. I think it's a fire. I hope there's 3 now. On the camera. I'm hoping it's just fire. Yeah, okay, there it went. All right.
Feeling exposed, Dee packed the dogs into the truck, trying to keep them safe while she walked the trail alone. This was where her dogs had bolted earlier. The woods were too quiet. No insects, no breeze, just stillness. Then, a sharp metal clank broke the silence. Dee spun around. Movement, but nothing was there. She pushed forward, then came the knocks. One to the left, another up ahead. The trees around her trembled. She kept walking, but the woods closed in. Suddenly, a large tree shook right in front of her. No wind, no reason, just movement. She knew she wasn't alone. Something was watching, something was near. Watch this clip closely. The tree that moved without warning.
There's no wind except for now. Like,
two between me. I got one in front of me. Just through the whole tree. Oh my God, that's weird. Stop. Okay. Okay.
Dee called out. She meant no harm, but the feeling got worse. She found a snowy owl perched nearby. A beautiful moment, but it didn't calm the dread. Her dogs were whining back at the tent. The knocks returned, closer now. Movement surrounded her. Fear climbed fast. She rushed back to the tent. Then something hit it, hard. The pressure was closing in. Her dogs shook in fear. Dee pressed her camera against the mesh, desperate to see what was outside. Heavy footsteps circled. Then, eye shine. Quick, gone. Panic took over. Here's the moment it happened. The pounding, the circling, the terror closing in.
Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I can't do this, guys. I can't do this, guys. I can't do this, guys. Sorry, girls. This was a bad idea. I swear, so I'm just like raise my tent. I'm not sure. I have to get out and walk, but I don't want to leave them.
She begged it to stop, begged it to leave. She couldn't see it, but she knew it was there. Dee packed up in a frenzy, grabbed the dogs, and bolted for the truck. But something was still moving out there, still following. The sounds wouldn't stop. Even from inside the truck, the knocks echoed. They were closing in. Dee didn't quit. After calming down, she went back in. She pushed herself to keep recording. But the woods weren't finished with her. Knocks returned. Movement darted between the trees. Shapes shifted in the dark. Dee could hear them but never see them. Here's the moment she could not keep calm anymore.
They're all around me. I don't think they're used to this kind of stuff. Like people coming out and being like, hey, how are you? She's coming out to see us. Well, let's rev her up a little bit. Oh God. I'm breathing heavy, guys. I'm sorry. I know that's when somebody's going in the stupid thing, but I'm scared, okay? I admit it. I am freaked out right now.
She sat for hours, listening, watching, waiting. Then came the final moment. A sound so close, so heavy. It was enough. She called it. She was done. She drove away, panic flooding her chest.
Absolutely not. I'm done. I'm done. Oh God! I just pulled into you. Oh God, I backed up too far. Thank God for four-wheel drive. Oh God, I'm panicked, dude.
She was safe, but the fear stuck with her. Something was out there that night. Something that didn't want her there. Would you have stayed? They went out chasing Bigfoot, but something else was chasing them. In the cold, shadowy Appalachian mountains, YouTuber Exploring with Bear teamed up with Doug from Fear Fanatics on a 48-hour mission. Their goal? Track Bigfoot. No electricity, no water. Just them, their cameras, and the wilderness that's known for strange encounters. But they weren't ready for what was waiting. The first night started out calm, just the sounds of the woods and the crunch of their footsteps. But the silence didn't last. Soon, stones began flying out of the darkness. Hard impacts, sharp, loud thuds near the trail. They didn't see what threw them, but something was there, and it wanted them to know. Take a look at this.
All right, so we just did some Bigfoot calls. And I just heard something. I didn't have the camera rolling, dang it. We're going to be here for so long.
That wasn't just a rock dropping. You can hear the throw. It was fast, deliberate. Something was close, too close. The shock in their voices says it all. This wasn't just the wind. As they continued along the trail, the forest around them came alive. Branches snapped in the distance. Heavy footfalls circled them, and just beyond the light they caught a glimpse. A dark figure, barely visible through the trees. It never showed itself fully. It just kept its distance.
Did you hear something? Yeah, it was my flash. What is that up there? Man, my flashlight ain't doing good.
I can't tell.
It looks weird, whatever, like out of place. Sort of like in the middle where my light's
Yeah,
at.
I see it. I don't know what that is.
It's not coming up good on camera, but it looks weird.
Watching, they tried Bigfoot calls. They knocked rocks together. And something answered back. The clacks returned from deeper in the woods, like a distant echo. But it wasn't an echo. It felt like a response. Here's the moment it happened. A rock flies clear as day.
Bro,
I know you. Holy smokes, man. Hold on. What the heck? It was like a.
I saw something flying through there, dude.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you got it on camera?
I don't know if I
Man, I hope that sound. I hope they could hear that. That sucker
Dude,
was
that's
loud.
deep in the woods, bro. Hold on.
It skips across the creek bed with speed and force. This wasn't gravity. Something threw it, on purpose, and it wasn't far from them. Their pace changed. You can hear the breath shorten. You can feel the urgency rising. But they didn't stop. They pushed forward, deeper into the trail, toward the sounds. They called out again, and again, the response. Movement, snapping branches, a heavy crash somewhere ahead. Whatever it was aware, and it wasn't backing down. Watch this clip closely.
Go. Was that a rock? What was that? Ow, my face! Damn it! Go, man, don't stop. Man, something's throwing something. Go.
Another rock gets thrown, closer this time. The sound is sharp. It hits with force. It's no accident. That's when they bolt. They don't think. They just run. Full sprint, desperate to get distance between themselves and whatever was chasing them. Back at camp, they caught their breath. But the forest wasn't finished. In the quiet, another sound echoed through the woods. More movement. Another crash. The thing that followed them. It was still out there. It didn't stop when they did. This footage says it all. The final sprint. You can hear it. The panic, the speed, the overwhelming sense of needing to get out now.
Look. I know. Don't make it too bright. So don't make the light too bright. So we ran for a minute. And man, it was so hard to see. I was dropping stuff. I dropped the camera. I hope it's okay. I haven't turned the light on good enough to expect it, but... So we went total lights out and just sat here in the dark.
A second crash hits behind them. Close. It pushed them to the edge. When they reached the RV, they finally stopped. They were safe, for now. But the question stayed with them. What was it? Was it Bigfoot? Or something else that hunts in these mountains? They didn't see it. Not directly. But they heard it. They felt it. The pounding of something big. The well-aimed rocks. The strategic movement in the trees. It wasn't random. It wasn't an accident. Whatever it was, it followed them all night. It came in close. It wanted to be heard. Dee's dark adventures and fear fanatics captured something real, something aggressive, something that didn't want to be seen, but absolutely wanted to be known. So what do you think? Was it Bigfoot, a territorial creature, or was something hunting them all along? Let us know what you believe. The woods were quiet, until they weren't. What should have been just another night in the forest turned into something unforgettable for the 401 Files channel. It began with a sound, a sharp, man-made beep deep in the woods. No one else was supposed to be there. Phones, cameras, whatever it was, something electronic triggered that sound. It echoed through the trees. It wasn't just the host who heard it. His dog Lily picked it up too. See for yourself.
And it was a device of some kind. was a device of some kind going like a phone or some kind of camera. I don't know what the hell that was, but it was definitely man-made. It was like a beeping. Lily's obviously heard something as well. That was very weird. It was a distinctive beep, like when you turn some cameras on, especially some of these small portable cameras, you'll get a beep that goes or something like that, and it was repeated like 2 or 3 times. Lily.
The beep repeats, clean, mechanical, just like the startup sound of a camera or device. It's out of place. The moment instantly shifts from calm to alert. Something or someone was close, but they were supposed to be alone. The investigation pressed on, moving deeper into a location packed with strange reports. Stories of cryptids, UFO sightings, and unexplained sounds all cluster around this one stretch of forest. And soon, things got chaotic. Take a look at this.
Going too fast. Oh, Lily. Steady. Whoa. Shit. 1 second though. 1 second. Fuck, what the hell? The lights not working. Lily, stop. Jeez. Right. Backup torch. This is great, sat in the dark. I've just fallen down the embankment on my ass. Lily was going too fast. Now the light's gone off. 1 second. I'm trying to stand up, but my leg's tucked underneath me. I need to get my secondary torch out. Where the hell is it? Oh, God. What the hell? Where's my torch? Right. Stay there, love. Don't go too fast. For some reason, my torch turned off.
Moving along the embankment, things quickly spiraled out of control. A sudden fall. The flashlight shuts off. Darkness surrounds him. Lily darts ahead, too fast. Panic kicks in. He scrambles to find his backup torch. Total blackout in a place like this? Terrifying. He fights to regain control, but in those moments, anything could have been watching from the shadows. The woods weren't giving him much of a break. As he pressed forward, uneasy thoughts settled in. The ridge lines above him, the perfect vantage point, the kind of place where unseen eyes could stare down. He kept moving, knowing stories of people spotting strange figures on those very ridges, imagining something, human or not, watching him from above. Then came the sound. Here's the moment it happened.
Rivets in the ground. What the hell was that? Lily, come. That have fallen. All the ditches and rivets in the ground. What the hell was that? Lily, come. She's obviously heard something as well. What the hell was that?
A sharp noise cuts through the night. Lily reacts instantly. Both freeze. The sound is close. They scan the trees. It's not the usual forest sound. It's something else. Something moving and something watching. The flashlight's narrow beam isn't enough. Everything beyond that beam is pure black. Anything could be standing just outside his vision. The night dragged on, tension building with every step. He couldn't see what was around him, but the woods made sure he knew he wasn't alone. Then came the final push, a sound he couldn't explain. Watch this clip closely.
What the hell is that? It's okay, Lily. It's okay. That is at some distance, but... Lily, come. Lily. As the night progressed, I listened back over that footage multiple times. I was more convinced now than ever that what I had recorded was the sounds of howling. This could have potentially been dogs far off in the distance, but with my anxiety already in a state of overdrive and Lily showing me clear signs of distress, I decided to hit the road and call it a night.
Howls echo in the distance. They're faint but sharp enough to send chills. Lily reacts again, showing clear signs of distress. She's alert, ready to bolt. The howls continue, low and drawn out. Maybe dogs, maybe not. In that moment, he couldn't take chances. With his nerves maxed out and Lily on edge, he made the call to leave. The night was over. The evidence was thin, but the experience was real. It wasn't about blurry footage or distant shapes. It was about the feeling, the moments where you know you're not alone, even if you can't see what's there. This footage says it all. Strange sounds, vanishing lights, panic in the dark. It's the kind of encounter that leaves you wide awake at night, wondering who or what was watching. What do you think was out there? Was it another person, a creature, or something else entirely? It started as a simple overnight investigation. Dawn from Project Darkwood was invited to explore private land in Georgia. The owner claimed something was out there. Something big, something aggressive. Multiple encounters had scared him enough to call in help. Dawn wasn't fully convinced, but she agreed to camp overnight to see for herself. For hours she walked, watching, listening, recording. The woods felt abandoned. She was completely alone out there. But as the night deepened, so did the pressure. She described the feeling like being watched, closely, heavily. Still, nothing moved. She pressed on, moving from one trail to another, cutting through the tall grass and thick trees. The quiet was starting to get to her. See for yourself.
What the hell was that? Ooh. Something walking. Oh, shh. Okay, all right. Okay.
Out of nowhere, a loud crack. Something big was moving. It wasn't an armadillo this time. It was heavier. It stepped with weight, pacing behind the trees. Dawn froze. Her flashlight darted left, then right. Her pulse spiked. She whispered that she could hear something walking. It wasn't stopping. It was moving toward her. Here's the moment it happened.
Oh, thanks. Okay. Oh, fucking keys. Jesus Christ. Oh, okay. Oh, oh, holy f, I'm still filming. Okay. I ran all the way back to the car. Jesus Christ. I hope to I caught that.
Suddenly, charging, heavy steps barreled through the brush, coming fast. It was a full-speed sprint directly toward her. Dawn spun and ran, panic fully taking over. Her feet slammed against the dirt as she bolted back toward the entrance trail. She didn't look back. She didn't stop. She just ran, terrified, with the crashing sound chasing her. The trail seemed to stretch forever, but finally, her car. She dove inside, slamming the door, locking it, breathing hard. Take a look at this.
Okay. I'm gonna get my stuff tomorrow and just hope that it's all still there and not up at all. Christ. Holy shit, I've never run so fast in my life. I'm shaky. All right. It didn't even hit me fully until like a couple seconds after. All right, thank you so much for watching. I'm going away now, not from YouTube, from this place. And I'll see you next time, I hope, unless something rips me out of the car on the way out.
Inside the car, adrenaline still surging, she tried to piece it together. What was that? She caught a brief glimpse, a towering, muscular figure, at least 7 feet tall, dark against the trees. It wasn't shaped like a person. It didn't move like a person. She said it had a broad chest, thick shoulders, glowing eyes. It wasn't human. The way it moved, powerful, fast, with an animal-like precision, it didn't match anything she could explain. This footage says it all.
I'm still kind of processing what happened, and I was a little hesitant to upload this, mostly because I'm of the opinion that either none of this stuff exists, which I find unlikely, or at least some of it does, and there's some kind of cover-up. I feel like if there weren't, we would have found some like solid proof by now. They'd be like on National Geographic documentaries and stuff. So there's a chance, if this turns out to be the real deal, that this video could get taken down. Hopefully that doesn't happen.
The next morning, Dawn returned to collect her trail cam and remaining gear. Nothing had been touched. The camp was undisturbed, but that didn't matter. What she heard, what she saw, that stayed with her. She replayed the footage over and over, hunting for answers. Could it have been a prank? Could someone have staged it? Maybe. But the landowner wasn't the type. And the speed, the mass, who could pull that off in the middle of nowhere in pitch black with no warning? She had no answers, only questions. For Dawn, it became the most terrifying night of her life. She doesn't claim to have all the answers. She's the first to admit she's still questioning what happened.
I was a little hesitant to upload this, mostly because I'm of the opinion that either none of this stuff exists, which I find unlikely, or at least some of it does, and there's some kind of cover-up.
Was it real? Was it a trick? Was it something that wasn't supposed to be there? She's left wondering if it really was the creature the landowner warned her about. The footage is out there now. It's up to you to decide. What charged her that night? A prank? A misidentified animal? Or was it something much more? Something with intent? Something that didn't want her there? Something was following them. Not just the sound of footsteps. Something big. Something heavy. And it wasn't stopping. The YouTube channel Oklahoma Adventures went deep into Bigfoot territory, hiking, cooking, and exploring through rugged trails. At first, it was all peaceful. They cooked fresh corn, mushrooms, and peppers near a flowing river. They laughed, they relaxed, but they didn't realize something had already picked up their scent. See for yourself.
¿Escuchaste?
Right here. They hear it. The clear sound of something moving fast. Something closing in. The peaceful meal suddenly shifts to alert eyes and tense bodies. It wasn't a small animal. It was big, and it was getting closer. They try to keep moving, but the woods won't let them forget. Something is trailing them. Step by step. Every time they move, it moves. When they stop, it stops. They can feel it. They can hear it. The birds that once filled the trees go silent. Even the crows vanish and the energy shifts. It's no longer a casual day in the forest. Take a look at this.
Mira, ahí se anda corriendo algo. ¿Se escucha?
Es aquí este lado.
¿Dónde?
De allá, de allá.
¿A qué lado? ¿Dónde? 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 ¿Dónde?
Suddenly, a rush of movement cuts through the silence. Fast, heavy, close. They don't see it yet, but they hear it. They aren't alone. They continue deeper, hoping it's just a deer. But the sounds keep following. They search for signs and find more than they expected. Bent branches, strange formations. Something large passed through here and left a trail behind. Here's the moment it happened. This is the shot, a clear figure, standing, not hidden, not crouched. He's fully visible between the trees, a prominent figure, broad shoulders, towering height, not enormous, but striking. What caught their attention the most were his arms, unnaturally long, longer than a human's, the exact shape that so many witnesses describe. The one seen in drawings, in sketches, in stories, and now, finally, in this capture. The figure doesn't rush, it doesn't hide. It just stands, knowing they've seen him. The description matches countless Bigfoot sightings. That size, that posture, the arms. It's not just the distance. It's the way he fits perfectly into those repeated accounts. Watch this clip closely.
Algo va corriendo, Tan.
More movement, heavy, deliberate steps. It's pacing with them. Not in a rush, not clumsy. It knows the woods, it knows they're watching. The group realizes it's no longer safe to stay. They try to keep calm but decide to leave quickly. The forest feels alive. Every step is followed, every sound echoes back. The peace they had at the beginning is long gone. They reflect on why this happened. It's the food. The smell carried deep into the forest. They knew cooking in Bigfoot territory was a risk, and this time, it drew something in. This footage says it all.
Aquí está algo.
¿Ah?
Aquí está una huella de algo, desde aquí hasta acá.
Y aquí hay más arcos también, mira. Seca.
They find a large track, a real one, clear, wide, heavy impressions on the ground. And just steps away, a large tree branch propped up in a way that doesn't happen naturally. It's positioned, held in place, almost like a marker. All signs point to something big moving through here. It's not just the sounds, it's not just the movement, it's the tins, the tracks, the moment when the camera finally caught what so many chase. Was this Bigfoot? Did they get too close? Or did he get too close to them? Let us know what you think. It started simple, just another trek through the dense woods. The forest was thick, old, and drenched from heavy rain. The explorer climbed down a ditch, cutting through the tangled brush, scanning for signs of activity. Alone, deep in the trees, the mood quickly shifted. A heavy grunt broke the silence, bow, followed by the sound of wood twisting. Not snapping, but twisting like something forcing the tree to break. Panic kicked in. He wasn't waiting to see what was out there. He turned and left the area fast. A few minutes later, a tall balsam tree caught his attention.
It's still alive because it still has like foliage on it. You can see there. It's a healthy tree by the looks of things, but it's been completely snapped off and pushed over recently. What's interesting right here, we're pretty close to the road still, but you can see there's almost like a natural trail right through here. Kind of twists around a bit.
It was alive, still green, but something had snapped it recently. Nearby, a poplar, also freshly broken. Both trees were solid, no rot, no weakness. Something with serious strength had pushed them down. Between the fallen trunks, a wood trail cut through the forest, almost too perfect. Near that path, he spotted a deep, fresh depression in the soil. Maybe a footprint, maybe not. But it was strange. The rain came down harder. Water started pooling everywhere. Before heading back, he tried something. Wood knocks. See for yourself.
Might have to return again when it's more dry. Before I head back, I might as well just try a couple of wood knocks on this tree with a stick here. See if I get an answer.
He slammed a stick against a tree, pausing between knocks, listening carefully. The woods stayed silent, no answers. But the weight of the silence felt thick, like something was out there, just choosing not to respond. As he pushed deeper along the swollen river, he remembered a local elder's story. He had been told about a second pond nearby, a place where Sasquatch had been spotted. It wasn't easy terrain, thick brush, fallen trees, treacherous footing. He waded through the cold water, slipping across rotting logs. The deeper he went, the more isolated he became.
I heard a story from a local elder today who explained that this second pond I heard about from another community member here is along this river. I just keep following the river and I should find the lake and then the second pond where Sasquatches are known to congregate, according to both of these two community members. You can see there's all this water pooled from the river being so swollen, but now I can wade through this stuff.
The paths disappeared, the river was raging, and the woods closed in from every side. He climbed up slippery banks, surrounded by ancient forest. The river was too deep to cross, the current too strong, but the curiosity pushed him further. He tried imitating the Ohio howl. Here's the moment it happened.
I've never tried to imitate the Ohio howl or anything before, so I'm probably going to butcher it, but let's see if anything happens. And hopefully if they do hear me over the river, something will respond. Oh!
His call echoed through the trees. No immediate response, but tension filled the air. As he paused, a pelican suddenly shot up from the water, catching him completely off guard. The ground became even more dangerous. Every step risked a fall into the fast-moving river.
The footing is super treacherous here. Every step is a challenge. I don't want to fall into the river. Oh, almost did there. It's so thick here. Really hard to make any headway. Really hard to make any headway. Thought I heard something up there.
He kept moving carefully but heard something ahead, a sound from the bluff above. He couldn't see it, but something was there. The elder had mentioned this exact spot, a hill known for strange activity. He scanned the trees, feeling watched from the other side of the river. The bird calls came again, but they didn't sound right. Not like any bird he knew.
I just heard that weird bird call again. It was like a bird, but not quite like a bird. I've heard Bigfoots imitate other animals. I didn't have the camera rolling, of course, but even if I had, I'm not sure you would have heard it. It came from that way this time, kind of back the way I came. It was super quiet. I could barely hear it even with my ears over the noise of the river, but
They were close, too quiet to fully catch on camera, but sharp enough to grab his attention. He kept hearing them from different spots as if something was circling him. His instincts screamed not to go further, but he pushed on. Watch this clip closely.
I still haven't moved from this spot, but I just heard some trees moving above my head up this bluff here. Sounded like something big, moving trees and foliage. There's been dead silence, apart from the river. As far as the woods themselves, dead silence this whole time, except for those two weird bird-like calls that didn't sound natural somehow.
He tried another howl. Moments later, trees shifted above him. Something big was moving. Heavy steps brushed through the foliage, just one set of movements, but they were deliberate. The river roared beside him, but the woods were otherwise dead silent. The crossing became impossible. The river was too deep, too strong. As he turned back, he caught it. A flash of movement high on the bluff. Quick, dark, gone in seconds. He switched on his headlamp, scanning the trees. Take a look at this.
Big and black. See, for all the skeptics who are always wondering why you don't have the camera rolling, it's because it happens in a second and then it's over and you don't know when it's coming. So frustrating. Yeah, there.
Something large moved again. It filled a gap between the trees, just for a moment. He couldn't say what it was, but it wasn't small. Rain started to fall. His phone battery dropped fast. As he left the area, another loud thud echoed from the direction he'd just come from. Like a tree crashing down, but distant. He pushed through the dark, glancing back, feeling like something was still watching. No clear sighting, no solid proof, just flashes, sounds, and a strong feeling he wasn't alone. What do you think was out there? He didn't go out there expecting this. Deep in the wilderness, surrounded by thick moss and towering trees, something unexpected crossed his path. From the Mountain Beast Mysteries channel, this was supposed to be just another expedition. But what he found out there, it changed everything. It all started with a footprint, a clear, bare, human-like footprint, right there in the moss. You could see it, the heel, the narrowing shape, the toes spread out just enough. It wasn't a perfect print, but it was enough to freeze him in place. It didn't look like a bear. It didn't look like anything he could easily explain. And if it really was Bigfoot, this would be his first track ever. See for yourself.
It looks like toes. I mean, if this is from a Bigfoot, it's the first track I've ever found. And it's a shame it's in the moss, because it'd be nice to try and cast one.
The print sits right in the moss, deep enough to hold its shape. It looks like something walked barefoot through that area. The toes, the heel, the length, all there. It's hard to cast a print in moss, but there's no doubt it's an impression. This wasn't just a random dent. It's wide, long, and real. But it didn't stop there. Not long after, he spotted something strange. A heavy branch wedged between tree limbs, high off the ground. It wasn't something that fell naturally. The nearby trees didn't match the type of branch. It was out of place. Almost like something had intentionally put it there. Maybe a marker, maybe a sign. Or maybe it was just the first clue that he wasn't alone. As night fell, the feeling of being watched only grew stronger. He stayed near camp, setting up trail cameras, ready for anything. But when it got dark, things got serious.
When all of a sudden, out of nowhere, we were all startled to hear a loud crack and what sounded like a small tree falling over very close to our camp area, but just out of sight and a little ways into the trees. This set the tone for the rest of the expedition. We immediately grabbed the cameras and wandered off into the darkness in search of whatever caused this disturbance. Lesson learned? Always have your cameras rolling.
A loud crack, a small tree snapping nearby. It wasn't far. It was loud enough to make everyone stop. They scrambled to grab cameras, heading into the trees to figure out what caused the sound. They didn't see anything, but that sound, that crack, set the tone for the night. From then on, every step felt like something was watching. Later, while walking back to their vehicle, they found something no one expected. Take a look at this.
Yeah, we were walking up to the car here. I was just about to get some more stuff before we head out, and we noticed a few of these kind of strange looking handprints, like up to my hand. You can see what would be the palm, or what looks like the palm is a little bit lower. So it almost looks as though something maybe put a hand on here and then peered in.
Two strange handprints on the vehicle's side window. They weren't there when they arrived. They weren't from the crew. The handprints didn't line up with where anyone would naturally place their hands. The palms pressed lower, the fingers spread wide, and the print size was unusual. What stood out most, clear dermal ridges. That's a primate trait, not something you see from random animal marks. The group had no explanation. Could a juvenile Bigfoot have walked through their camp, peering into their vehicle? Or was it someone else? The prints didn't smear like you'd expect from rushed movement. They were deliberate, like something paused there. But the most convincing evidence came near the end of their trip. Another footprint appeared, even larger than the first. It was wide. The toes were fully splayed, and the pressure was real. Watch this clip closely.
Right here, we have another potential track. And I could just be imagining it, but what I kind of am visualizing is it coming to here and going around here. And it would be like the left foot coming. These would be where the toes are here.
A massive track pressed into the forest floor. Around 12.5 inches, the toes spread naturally, just like prints seen in other Sasquatch cases. The midsection was broad. The steps seemed natural, not staged or accidental. This wasn't the only track. Another impression nearby showed movement. Something big had been there, moving through that space. Throughout the trip, signs piled up. Strange sounds, tree markers, handprints, and those striking footprints. It wasn't a blurry shape or faraway noise. It was physical. It was close. It's the kind of evidence that makes you think. Could it really be Bigfoot? Was something out there watching them, moving through their camp when no one was looking? What do you think left those prints? Could Bigfoot have been right there all along? In 2024, YouTuber Groovy Gavin went looking for Bigfoot. Not just stories. He wanted to know why so many people still believe. His first stop? Willow Creek, California. Bigfoot country. It started with the Patterson-Gimlin footage, that famous 1967 clip. People still argue about it. Gavin met locals, walked the trails, stood where it all happened. The Bigfoot Museum staff told him about the footprints. Huge, deep, found by lumber workers. Too heavy, too detailed to fake. They said the steps showed flexing toes, bending knees, and a walk not like ours. Gavin tried the walk himself. Bent knees, swinging arms. He thought maybe, just maybe, a person could pull it off. He wasn't sure. He kept looking. Experts told him about Gigantopithecus, an ancient giant ape that could fit the Bigfoot size. Could it have survived? Gavin pushed deeper. Roadblocks stopped him from reaching the exact Patterson-Gimlin site. But nearby, he searched the forests, creeks, and snapped trees. Some said storm damage. Some said Bigfoot. Gavin called out. He knocked on trees. Night vision ready. But the woods stayed quiet. Watch this part, right here.
So this is just a list of stuff we found on some website. So these probably aren't the most valid, but we gotta try them. We gotta test everything. So this is personally something I wanted to try, which is so we have this video literally of Bigfoot walking by this creek.
Gavin's flashlight cuts the dark, searching. He waits, breath held. Nothing answers. He hit Squatch Fest next, the heartbeat of the Bigfoot world. Witnesses flooded him with stories. Soldiers, campers, hikers, people who swore they saw something huge. One saw 3 figures after a demolition blast. Shapes that didn't move like people. Matt Pruitt told him the truth. The tracks are the key. Gavin met Dr. Jeff Meldrum, a scientist who spent decades on this mystery. Dr. Meldrum said the footprints, thousands of them, aren't just stories. The foot shapes, the depth, the motion, they're real. He's 99% sure Bigfoot exists. Cliff Barackman showed Gavin how to track, where to look, how to spot the difference between human prints and something else. Cliff's casts told their own story. Gavin followed him to fresh sights, eyes sharp. He didn't find Bigfoot, but he found the hunt, the obsession, the community. Then came the boots on the ground moment. Gavin went deep into the forest. Day 1, no signs. Hours of hiking. Snapped trees, yes, but was it wind damage? He wasn't convinced. They pressed on, into thicker woods. Gavin's flashlight flicked across the trail. He scanned for footprints, for signs. The deeper they went, the quieter it got. No wind, no birds, just that feeling, like something was close. See for yourself.
All the experts told us to go, so I'm inclined to believe that there's something here. We were always so ill prepared for these videos. Look at our shoes. we're actually some idiots.
So we began down a long trail where we found some suspicious footprints.
Is this one right here?
If it's right here,
that looks like a Bigfoot foot.
But the problem was it was next to so many human footprints that I thought just multiple people stepped in the same area. But then we started hearing a lot of weird noises.
I hear a river.
A trail, something off to the side. Gavin stops. He leans in, heavy prints? Or just the forest playing tricks? The search stretched on. They found broken trees, strange dips in the ground. Gavin's pace slowed. He wanted this to be real. He wanted to win the search. But as hours passed, doubt crept in. They set camp in a deeper spot, the place where others heard calls, the place where tree knocks echoed. Gavin tried it himself. Loud hits against the wood, waiting, listening, hoping.
And we'll just wait to hear something. After the stick broke, we just listened.
He strikes the tree. Silence falls. Time drags. Then, in the distance, a light, faint, glowing. They move toward it, fast. Something crackles nearby. A step? A shuffle? Gavin spins his light. His pulse spikes. He hears something, close. They set 3 camera traps, night vision, motion triggered. 3 Nutella jars as bait, Bigfoot's supposed favorite. The cameras watched the forest all night. Gavin waited. Rain started. Flashlights dimmed. The forest pressed in. Morning came. They grabbed the cameras. 20 videos recorded. Gavin's heart raced. Could this be it? Final check. Watch here.
Headed to the car to go through the footage, and there were around 20 videos that got recorded, so there might be something. All of this research and talking to experts led to this. But before I look at these videos, well, even though the series is called Is Bigfoot Actually Real?, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to say yes or no 100% by the end of this. Because not even the Bigfoot experts can say they 100% believe.
99% confident.
I just wanted to see why so many people believe, what the hardest evidence was out there. The videos were hard for me to...
They skimmed through the footage, one by one, clip after clip, nothing. The cameras caught only the wind, the rain, empty woods. Gavin didn't find Bigfoot, but he found why people believe. The footprints, thousands collected, detailed, consistent, too perfect to ignore, but maybe too strange to fully accept. He left with no proof, but the question stayed. What if just one sighting was real? What if the forests still hide something? What do you think? Is Bigfoot out there, or is it all just footprints in our imagination? Something was out there. Something left a track. And he almost walked right over it. It happened deep inside the San Bernardino National Forest. No trail, no people. Just a dry creek bed tucked in a canyon. That's where he found it. A single clear footprint pressed deep into the dirt. He stopped, looked around. Silence. The print was fresh, and it didn't make sense. There were other faint impressions nearby, some with possible toe marks, but nothing as sharp as the one he photographed. Watch yourself here.
And I happened to look down. There was a track right at my feet. I'm going through my mind trying to figure out how that could have happened. There were a few other tracks where I could also see toe impressions, but nothing as clear as the photo that I took that I'm about to show you. Let me know what you guys think.
This is where you can see the photo. Toes, shape, depth. A footprint that shouldn't be there. He'd heard people's opinions before. Some said it looked like a human footprint, but to be barefoot in that rough canyon, that far-off trail? Not likely. And this wasn't an easy walk. If you saw where he'd gone, you'd question it too. The terrain was steep, sharp rocks, dry creek beds, thick cover. Who would hike this barefoot? The San Bernardino National Forest is no small patch of woods. It covers over 800,000 acres. Multiple mountain ranges, thick forests, twisting rivers. Plenty of space to stay hidden. Plenty of water. Plenty of food. Plenty of mystery. And this part of the forest, it felt different. He remembered hiking this side of the highway before. Something about it always felt heavy. Maybe it was the memory of his earlier experience. Finding that track when he wasn't even searching. Maybe it was the stories. There's an old one, from the 1970s. A scout troop camping in these same mountains heard something big. Heavy steps approaching their camp. They never saw it, but they heard it. The encounter became one of the most documented sightings in the area. And the footprint he found? Just miles from where that scout troop camped. Play this part.
Of course, I've had people tell me, yeah, that's a human footprint. Yeah, that's what it looks like. For a person to be out where I was walking barefoot doesn't make sense. I'm not saying it's not possible. If I could have taken you guys to where I was at and you've seen how I got there, I think you'd be questioning it too.
You can almost feel the connection. As he hiked deeper, something else caught his attention. Fallen trees, fresh. The leaves are still green. Did they fall recently? It looked that way. He half laughed, saying he should probably move before the next one came down. But the unease stayed. Watch this section.
That's crazy. Is it just me, or are these leaves still kind of green? So, did this tree fall not that long ago? Is that what this is?
The vibe was off. Quiet. Too quiet. This wasn't a casual stroll. This was raw wilderness. And this wasn't just one footprint. There were other impressions nearby. Not as clean, but enough to make you stop and think. The track's depth was strange. The ground was dry and hard-packed. When he stepped nearby, he couldn't make a dent. He even jumped. Still, barely an impression. But that mysterious footprint? It sank deep, like something heavy had pressed it in, like something with serious weight. There's something about these forests, something about the way they hold secrets. The more you explore, the more you feel like you're not alone. And sometimes, when you're not expecting it, you find evidence that pulls you in deeper. Watch here.
I can see the car.
So what did he find that day? Was it a human? Possible, but strange. Was it a prank? Maybe. Or was it a trace of something we're still trying to understand? Something that moves through the canyons, careful but not perfect. Something that sometimes leaves a footprint behind. That's the thing about these stories. You either believe them or you don't. But when you're the one standing there, staring at a track that doesn't belong, belief suddenly feels very real. What do you think he found? Would you have kept walking, or would you have followed the tracks? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's figure this out together. Which state do you think is Bigfoot's true home? Have you seen something near your town? Drop your story in the comments. Hit like if this trail map blew your mind, and subscribe for more boots-on-the-ground encounters. Because Bigfoot isn't staying put, and the next sighting could be near you.